So I went from having no lights to having 6 lights. I was thinking today about the actual goal of the vlog because yes, on one hand, the goal is to get 100 daily videos made, but that's just a number. What is the goal of the vlogs themselves, of the videos? It's not really content because I have a different kind of a. So I kind of think of these things in bankable units, I guess. I'll talk about this idea in more detail later on, but the vlog is like one format of a bankable unit, and then longer videos will be a different format of bankable units. But in those longer format videos, I will have more content, I guess, in terms of theories, advice, maybe things that I have tried, experiments, stuff like that. But in the vlogs, the goal was to have lower expectations, lower effort, and I guess lower quality as well. Because the goal is to, well, I guess we're getting to the goal. Well, one of the goals for the vlogging series is to get over the perfectionism and to actually get into the habit of creating content. But that's still kind of beside the point in the sense that I haven't determined what the actual content of the videos would be, the actual goal of the videos. And the goal of the vlogs, I think, in terms of the content of the vlogs, should be self-monitoring. So what I mean by that is that it's kind of like a diary slash tracking, like tracking, I don't know, views on your website or whatever. Like basically the goal is to become aware of different things. Related to that, there was a study by Kaiser Permanente, 2008. Actually, I didn't find it, ChatGPT found them, but it's like I remember them from different books. So there was a study about food, like about keeping a food diary, like basically writing down everything you eat daily. And as a result, the people who had that diary, who like tracked their food, lost twice as much weight as people who didn't keep the diary. And it wasn't like about any, like they didn't get any other tips, or there was no actual kind of I don't know, advice that they had to follow, just that they had to track their food intake. And so their results were twice as good, I guess. Another thing was keystone habits, meaning like tracking one habit, for example, would improve other habits as well. So, for example, if somebody also kept the food diary, then very often they would also exercise more, they would take a walk instead of driving to places, maybe smoke less. So basically, just being aware about one aspect of their life, like tracking something, would make them aware of other aspects. And that was Duhigg synthesis. Another thing was daily reflection. So Harvard 2014, which was basically 15-minute journaling at the end of the day, which improved performance by 23% after 10 days. I'm not sure what the performance was, but I just wanted some simple statistics to kind of rattle out here. Another thing was goal journaling, Psychological Science 2011, writing about goals 15 to 20 minutes per day led to higher persistence and follow through than the control group. Oh, there was also a caveat with all of these. Biggest gains come when you review what you tracked or wrote down as well, and basically like adjusted based on that, not just logged it and forgot. And what I think the benefit of vlogging specifically is that, well, you first of vlog, so you talk about it, but then you also edit it half the time, I guess. Depends on how much you do it, how little you do it, what your preference is, but the video editing kind of is almost built in most of the time, because with like writing down into the journal, you write it down. Well, how often do you read it? Like, not a lot of us are actually readers these days, but rewatching a video that you did before posting it is like the bare minimum, which most people usually do. And reviewing those videos again is easier than like reading a whole diary. And like you might compare the videos, see how you've improved in terms of, I don't know, like video quality, lighting, composition, whatever you're doing there, how your speaking has improved, which is again another benefit for vlogging, like learning to talk to the camera. But let's get back to self-monitoring. So basically, with self-monitoring, with it being sort of kind of a wide net, or like the diary be having like widely cast net, like not specifically tracking one thing in your life. You could do that, of course, as well, but the benefit there is that your attention is evolving. If you have a specific plan and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this plan, I'm just gonna track these things, and that's it. And then you, I don't know, track it in the Excel sheet whether you did it or not. It's very kind of limiting. There's not a lot or no context at all to those things. But if you're actually talking it through, you're discussing it with the camera or with yourself, maybe you're scripting it a little bit, then you're adding context, and you're like, there's a logic, you look at it differently than if you just, okay, so this happened or it didn't happen, if you're like tracking it with a simple habit sheet type of a Excel or Google Sheets document. By kind of thinking through these things that are happening with you daily, you're, first of all, you're paying attention to them rather than just going through the motions of your everyday life. You actually pay attention. Okay, did I do something today that is, well, first of all, worth vlogging or talking about in a vlog? And secondly, usually, like, you want to see improvement in general, even if it's not an explicit goal, you still want to see some progress in your vlogs, and you kind of subconsciously are gonna be talking about how things are improving or not improving, because this is kind of a natural thing that we as humans do. We're like, okay, so today things are better. I did this and that, and kind of it worked better than last time. That kind of keeps your attention. If you don't have anything to say, then you're like, okay, I guess nothing happened today, and that kind of isn't good, I guess. Just like you're noticing more things just because you have to talk about it or write about it if you're writing into the diary. So that keeps you actually aware. I don't remember what the book was called. Right, so the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which I read a long time ago, so I don't really remember what's happening there. But I remember the moment when I was reading it about kind of uh, like about the moment where you become sort of aware and then it disappears for a while. I'm not sure if I imagined it or if it was in the book, but basically this awareness that I felt at that moment was kind of magical, kind of amazing. I was like, oh, I'm kind of aware of this moment. I'm like, I don't know, like I got out of the tunnel vision that I was in, and then I kind of forgot the feeling, and then probably months, if not years later, I was like, oh right, there was this thing where you can be in the moment. And although it's not the same thing, because it's not meditation, it's not whatever thing Eckhart Tolle was promoting in the book. I don't remember actually what was in there. Um, but even though it's not actually meditation, it is kind of, there's this awareness aspect of actually paying attention, of not being on autopilot, going through life on just NPC, in the NPC mode where you're like, okay, so go to work, do some house chores, walk the cat, wash the dog, I don't know, whatever people do. Basically, when you keep a journal or like do a vlog, you're forced to kind of look at your day and realize, okay, so something happened today. It wasn't just a series of actions which you immediately forgot, or maybe you did forget them and then you're like trying to remember, okay, what did I actually do today? And then you notice that, okay, I don't even know, because I've been kind of sleepwalking through the day. Maybe started with scrolling TikTok or Instagram, and then did some work, and now you're here and it's like midnight, and I don't know what I did today. I don't remember. So the more of vlogs you do, the more diary entries you do, the more you kind of force yourself into that self monitoring state where you're like, okay, what did I do today? Is that what I wanted to do? Do I want my life to look like this every day? Or do I want to change something about it? And so you kind of become more self aware. That's how you kind of wake up from being an NPC and actually become a real boy or girl. yeah, so I think that's kind of it for this vlog. But yeah, I guess that's the goal for these vlogs, to become more self-aware, um, like self-monitoring basically, just reflecting on the day, on goals, on whatever is kind of current in my life, and then looking, okay, did it improve? What should or could I do to improve it? And yeah, see you in the next one.